Alright everyone, we should be live. We're playing Oregon Trail, of course. I'm going to do a test, since some of you have piled in. I'm going to lower the volume here, and I'm wondering if it impacts the volume that you hear on your end, and or echo, and things like that. If I put it down like that, can you still hear the game volume at the same level? It should generally be the same for you, I believe. Yeah, we're gonna do super hard mode today. I may or may not actually make it to Oregon. Probably won't. I only managed to do it once. So yeah, if you can still hear the audio okay on either platform, YouTube or Rumble, I would appreciate it if you would tell me. I'm gonna have to open up the tab, so I won't really be able to pay attention much to chat. I suppose, could I move this over? Let me see what I can do. I think I did that before. Okay. I'm gonna put the StreamYard link actually over here, I think. See myself, I can see chat. Captain Plane, turn down. Game audio louder than you. I don't think there's much that I can do about that. We will be banting about, you know, random shit. I will have chat open at the side. But here's the problem. I only have one screen, so I can't really have Rumble chat and the main StreamYard, which is YouTube and Twitter, on at the same time. Michael, we're just going out to water the trees. Send me your botanical energy. You shall succeed. Water the trees. Yeah, is there any way that I'm going to be able to see myself at the same time that I'm playing the game? Give me a sec. Okay, that pretty much works. Yeah, I need to have a second screen, I think. One would be for, like, chat and the actual stream, and then the other one's for the game. Unfortunately, on the online iteration, you can't really open up the menu. I've thought about trying to rig it in myself, because, you know, it is a little bit faulty. There are some glitches going on with it, but it's still fun. Yours truly. Learn to use your dang software, man. Audio levels are adjustable. Let's get to our sponsors, by the way, before we begin the game. I'm again going to be doing it on ultra hard mode. Teacher, early year, 5 dependents that can't help you with jack shit. You start out with the least amount of money. It's not that easy to get through the game that way. And you have to choose your month right, otherwise you can have problems. I've noticed it's usually best to start out in March or April myself. We have cultivated-mind.com, where you can get mushroom pills. You can also get doggo snacks. We have BiltongUSA.com, where you can get all sorts of meat from Anton. It's always a good idea. You can always get... Oh, anytime that Anton is mentioned, where the hell is my Bovray? Somebody moved my Bovray. Well, I guess today we have to use Vegemite, I suppose. You can also get Stick, Sex, and Hammer mugs and tumblers and shirts. Nothing wrong with Vegemite. And then finally, jamandbean.com. By the way, I had a delicious tea last night. It was a tisane tea, and it was mainly chamomile based. Brewed it in the coffee pot. Came out perfect. It was delicious. So you can get coffee, of course, pint coffee, as well as various teas from them as well. Should I get coffee when I go off on the trip? Here, let's play this fucking game. This is the Trail Journal of Sticks. I'm a greenhorn. I'm also a teacher, which means I start out with the lowest possible amount of money. We're not leaving in May, though. We're leaving in March. Normally, I set out from St. Joe's. I generally prefer that. It makes a little more sense. Yeah, you have to do a river crossing, but you can always hire the ferry. I just have to make sure I got $5 to my name. Back then, a considerable amount of money. Let's go to Sacramento this time. And we got 5 dependents, so we're doing this on really hard mode. What should the name be? Retarded girl, age 14. Bumbling cripple. Oh, I can't fit it on. Well, it on is called cripple. I could actually type the same. Cripple, age 16. Weird kid. Age 12. 4. She's just an inch over. She's 18. Don't worry. And she's last. Crazy. What the hell? My spacebar's been active. Crazy kid. Alright. We're gonna get this done. Yeehaw, matey.
Hey, you looking for a wagon train to hook up with? Our train's still in need of a few more wagons.
I can't join up with the wagon train until I actually
Merchants
have
here in town offer.
Alright, first you've got to get your animals. You need a wagon cover. Does it look like they have the oxen build? Huh. Okay, I guess we gotta go to livery. Steve the Drunk is probably managing it. Yeah. Those cost quite a bit. Otherwise, though, your wagon won't move. One time, I set out on the Oregon Trail in this game without any supplies at all, and the wagon just sat there because there's no ox to pull it or anything like that, and everyone starved to death. It was pretty funny. Now, since we're not going to be able to afford meat for the most part, we're going to have to set ourselves up with a good rifle. And we'll be basically hunting. We're only going to be able to bring a certain amount of stuff because I've got 5 dependent little children, all of which are retarded or crippled apparently. And unfortunately, there's no room in the wagon for the meat. Thankfully, there's plenty of other good shit. It's always a good idea to bring some cheese. Celery is cheap. Normally I would bring coffee or tea, but I'm not going to be able to afford it. Dried beans are cheap. We'll bring some dried fruit and dried vegetables. Those are always good. Flour goes fast. The food is the cheapest thing, actually, in the game. You'll know. We need some onions, no, not molasses. We will bring some pemmican just at the outset, because that's cheap too, so it doesn't really matter. Pickles, potatoes. For some reason, I'm not seeing kegs of water. Doesn't appear to be on there. 6 blankets. Yeah, when you're playing on super hard mode, you have to prioritize. You don't have any kegs of water? What the hell's your problem? It's always a good idea to get as many canteens as there are people. I have a couple of pools on. For some reason... I'm not seeing water kegs. Oh, lengths of rope. Very important. One set of cooking utensils, a set of eating utensils, 6 tin cups and 6 tin plates. People can just wash them. Don't get lazy. Ah, water kegs, okay. Yeah, you want a couple of those. Alright, so we've got our gun, we've got our oxen, we've got some basic rich food. There are a few medicinal supplies that you're going to want. Most of these are completely useless. Sometimes someone will get burned in a fire. Then you apply aloe vera, of course. Camphor is important. Epsom salts can be useful. Peroxide is unnecessary because we're going to be using sulfur, like I did on some of my wounds recently. Laudanum is great because, you know, it's an opioid. Lecithin for alkali poisoning. 2 doses of sulfur in case of wound infection. Turpentine is an astringent. We'll get a gallon of whiskey, man. We're gonna drink that shit. And witch hazel is also an astringent, but it's redundant. So, now we need to buy clothes. The Robodo Hotel. Alright, show me your wares. 6 pairs of boots. 6 hats. 6 pairs of long underwear. Since it's early in the year, we're gonna want mittens. You want twice as many pants as there are people in your party. Raincoats for everyone. Well, I can only buy 11 shirts. I guess I'll have to go with only one. How sad. Now we have the ability to get meat, and we've got other basic foods available. But there's more that we need to buy, but we're limited in our money. This is why it's super hard mode. You see, I've got less than $100. Even then, you know, I have a big problem. I could buy some coffee and shit, but it doesn't really matter. That's a good idea. If you get a butter churn and you have any cows with you, that will give you fresh butter. But that's a near and dear price to a teacher like me. Absolutely nothing. Some of these are more important than others. This is just for the use of your food. A couple of jars of horseradish. You definitely want to buy salt, by the way. Because then, when you're hunting on the trail, instead of turning into meat that is, you know, highly disposable and will rot within a few days, instead you end up with salted meat, and so that just makes sense. I'm forgetting. I still got a little bit of money left. Maybe I'll get a few more bullets and shit. Always lose one of those kegs of gunpowder in a tragic accident, so that makes sense. Right now, we're just preparing. Well, we can always get some butter. I guess we'll get some coffee beans and like coffee maker. Oh, stay on there. Oh, having a tail is probably. I think we may be able to afford a couple of extra oxen. Yeah. That way they don't get tired as quickly. Because you need at least 4 to bring your wagon through. Captain Plane, AI says people have beat this game. Oh, I've gone through it many, many times. And usually I don't end up dying on the trail. What I'm doing is super hard mode. So what I'm doing right now is I've got the lowest paying teacher with no skills, basically just bare bones minimum on food. I'm gonna have to hunt really, really quickly in order to bring down some animals, because otherwise we're gonna run out of pemmican really quick. Maybe I'll get some more bacon. That's the only other thing I think I'll do. Alright. Give me some bacon and shit. Biscuit tins are always good. Yeah, if I get like 75, that'll stave off hunger for a while at least. So yeah. Game is too loud. Just a second. Let me, can I adjust the volume on this without it crashing? I don't know. Okay, I've turned the music off. That should help.
Good day to you, friend. I'm new here in town. I'm making ready to head out on the trail west. I wouldn't start out with less than, say, 400 pounds of food per person. Of course, how much you can take depends on how big your wagon is and how many draft animals you got. I wouldn't start out with less than, say, 400.
Uh-oh. Ah, shit, fuck. Well, yeah, there's a reason why Windows 3.1 was retired. I'm gonna have to do it all over again, man. Shit. Well... the hell is this shit? I just want to play the fucking game, dude. Piss. Here, just give me a second. I'm gonna try to figure out what I did wrong. Jeez. Yeah, see, the problem is that the online game is stable, but if you try to change anything within the actual iteration of the game, it crashes. Every single fucking time. Here, I'll be right back while it loads. BRB. Alright, trying this again. It's not like I don't enjoy going shopping for kegs of pickles and things like that. This time, we're going to not touch any of the functions. I realize that the music is probably, you know, a little bit loud, but there's nothing that I can do about that. This is the Journey of Styx, a greenhorn who worked as a teacher and therefore is dirt poor. Back then, that was a thing. Not these days with teachers' unions. Always go from St. Joseph, going to Sacramento, and we've got 5 dependents, all of which are retarded. Cripple kid can be, he's 16. He's just messed up. He's got broken legs and everything. He's wheelchair bound. He's gonna have to ride on one of the oxen. Well, actually, we'll have one elderly member. More. Bitch. Yeah, should be. You know, there are 9-year-olds that are bitches. Let's see. The petulant kid is 15. And the whore is 18. I find this very fun, by the way. Alright.
The merchants here in town offer basic packages of supplies based on...
Trust me, I know. Oh, this dude.
Hello, friend. Say, has your wagon train formed yet? And have you met to form the council that will provide...
Alright, let's see. Do you have oxen this time? Sometimes you can get a deal at some of these places. Sometimes it's not the same cost. So now our wagon's taken care of. Now we should get this time we'll hope not to crash the game. These are relatively important. If you don't have enough clothes for people, unless you're setting out later, it'll really be a problem. 12 You've only got fucking 10 shirts? What the hell's the matter? Alright, we're half out of money already. We've got to get our rifle and strike guns. Alright. Well, at least the very least, we can hunt for meat and shit like that. Let's see, which one was it that they don't have it either, so it doesn't really matter. This game also teaches you about home economics, which is more than I can say for the average school. I'll add the coffee, please. Kids love coffee, you know? I'm just having fun. Medicine and shit too. Add like 50 pounds, you know, 60 pounds of pemmican, I suppose. A couple of pickle kegs. We need the water kegs. We definitely need the salt. That's very, very important. If you're gonna end up hunting for most of the meat that you need, you absolutely have to have salt on hand. Otherwise, it won't preserve. Let's get some rhubarb. Vinegar. Oh, yeast cake is always good. Six blankets. If you buy beads, you can trade those to Native Americans if you can find them, but it sort of depends on the year that you're in. It makes it a little bit difficult sometimes. I'll get lantern oil, but you don't seem to be offering lanterns. I don't know. Sometimes, things don't quite make sense in the game. It's pretty fun, actually. You have a bunch of spices and stuff. That'll improve morale. Yep, sacks of salt. Need some of those. Let's set all the clothes. Get a bunch of food. The only thing that we need is some of the topical drugs, you know. Wrong side. Lecithin are always important. Once in a while, you'll get someone who has alkali poisoning, and the treatment for that is soy lecithin. Sulfur is more important. Turpentine is more important. Quinine, just in case of the Platte River Valley giving you malaria, actually. And then we're gonna get our gallon of whiskey. That's not for medicinal purposes, though, trust me. Alright. I believe that we've got everything. We do still have enough money to buy a bit more food. Oh, and tools, of course. Those are slightly important. Oops. Coffee's no good without a coffee mill and a coffee pot. Almost forgot that one. Hammer, kettle, and ladle. See, even on a shoestring budget, I'm still capable of making ends meet. Yeah, I guess we gotta be out there. That's fine. Everyone gets their own cup and plate. They only get one. And we can wash our clothes. Oh, actually, I was gonna look. bizarre reason. Couldn't find enough for everyone. Let's go out on the trail. Typically, what you want to do, I don't know if I can press that and it won't lag out. You want to have a wagon train that's about this size. You don't want it to be too small because then if strangers approach and they're hostile, there's a problem. If you have it too large, then when you go out on the trail, you're going to get left in the dust quite literally. And we have to hold a little bit of money over in order to take the ferry several times, especially starting out in St. Joseph. So, yeah. I think 138 sounds better than 144. We're going to immediately go hunting, by the way. We're just going to take the fucking ferry. Who gives a shit? Toot toot, motherfucker. That's why you always hold a little bit of money aside. And always slow down when there's fog. Let's go and kill things. We got plenty of salt. I'm gonna kill everything that moves. Aw, poor thing. Damn it. Ooh. Got him. Ha 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 ha. Sometimes it fires a little bit low. Generally, it's a good idea to aim very slightly above them for some reason. Depending on the range, it's a little bit odd sometimes. Oh, come on. Ah. Blow Bambi's head off. Shit. Yeah, and if you see anything off in the grasses there, generally I just ignore it. Oh, alright, let's see if we can nail this stag. Ooh, drop it like it's hot. Yay! We got 150 pounds of meat. Shit. Yeah, hunting was one of the most fun things about this game the whole time. We'll be hunting again in just a few days, too. Let's see. 2.5 feet. Technically, you can ford it. If you cock it and float, you can get dragged. 2.5 feet is the worst river to be on. If it's 3, you always cock. If it's less than 2.5, if it's 2 feet, you always ford. We're gonna try. Oh, please don't drown. Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, 2.5 is like the Bane number within this particular... Oh, 2 feet. Just ford it. 2 feet is no problem. Let's see who's around.
We're going west, aren't we?
No shit, Sherlock. Oh. Everyone's in good health. Oh no, I don't want to do, no. No menus or anything like that. Why are you in the way? Piss. Can I please minimize you? Oh, thank God it didn't screw up the game. Gotcha. Ooh. Gotcha. Oh, shit. Jesus Christ, I guess we're eating squirrel tonight, or groundhog, or whatever the hell that is. Yep, I know what's for dinner. Oh, I love these open range shots. Those are a little bit easier. My mouse is glitching around a little bit. Oh, hi, Bambi. Ooh. Blew your fucking head right off. How sad it must be to be you. We're gonna be eating high on the hog tonight, everyone. Oh, there's two of you. Stop and graze for a second, yeah. Oh. Shit. Oh. Close. Ah! Dropping out of the sky. You are dead now. You are dead to me. Alright, that's enough meat, I think. I could only carry 232 pounds of meat back to the wagon, though, so, yeah. The Wanderer sticks. This sucks. Well, we can talk about news and stuff like that, but, ooh.
Top of the day to you, friend. Name's Casey O'Neill, late of County Clare in Old Ireland. All my relations said that the only place in the world for a young man to go to make his way nowadays is America.
I love these vignettes.
So I booked my passage, and now here I am, on my way to an unspoiled land, ready for enterprise.
Oh, fucking shit. You're not allowed to trade without a stack overflow? Well, fuck it then. That's rather odd. Interesting that it would be showing me the actual files here. Alright. Well, I've learned my lesson. You're not allowed to trade with anyone. You're not allowed to adjust the volume. I'm gonna have to get the game downloaded locally. Windows 3.1. Wonderful thing. Anyway, it was fun. I mean, I was sort of making it. If you can make it as a teacher with 5 dependents, and you can make that work, the score at the end of the game can be astronomical. I think I hit 24,000 or something when I did that. I'm gonna get over 10,000 in the last game when I was playing as a carpenter with only 4 people in the wagon train. And that was after I shot myself in the hunting accident and somebody got cholera, managed to survive, and then 1 kid died. That was fun. I love playing the game, but I really wish that I could find an iteration that was a little bit more stable than this. So I'm going to try to find that. I'm going to end this live stream in a second here. I'm going to try to find an iteration of this game that is actually capable of working, because this one, it has issues. So, I mean, it's still fun. Playing it solo would be fine. I don't have to worry about the audio or anything like that. But, yeah, as far as the game itself goes, I'd really like to get a more stable iteration of it. If anyone can recommend, send me a DM on Twitter. If you have a version of Oregon Trail that you can just download locally, you can play in browser, but it's not that one, or something like that, I would really, really appreciate it. Because, I mean, if I'm playing that on my own, it's one thing. But if I'm trying to do a live stream and give people entertainment and shit like that, I really don't want it to crash all the time. Bobby, Sticks, I didn't get a notification. Ramadan, surely the Internet Archive has a copy. I actually don't think that it does. That's the strange thing. Like, I know that it is abandonware, which makes no sense. Like, they should do a new edition of it and market it again, because it teaches kids about, like, you know, the 1800s, the Oregon Trail itself, the sort of prices that they had back then. That might be one reason they don't have it anymore. And the sort of things that people found to be important when they were trying to go from the east to west in transit. Fascinating history. I've watched so many documentaries on the Oregon Trail, and honestly, it's really, really great. I wish I could have gone on the Oregon Trail. Hey, all day, what do? You sit in a wagon and drink coffee. And then occasionally you have to amputate someone's arm, but other than that, generally speaking, as a rule, fun. It's like the Donner Pass documentary. I've read that many times. Of course, the Donner Pass was a ultimately successful, but originally very unsuccessful work around the main path to Oregon and places west, California and so forth. And they ended up eating each other. And they're still not sure whether the tales of cannibalism are entirely true, but it appears that there was definitely cannibalism at the Donner camp. And it was funny, in one particular journal, it was spoken of that they would kill like 12 or 13 buffalo at a time, and it was basically for sport. It wasn't even for meat at that point. And then they would, they would eat some of it, and then they would take the hides and stuff. They were trading it with so-called Native Americans for some time, till they got snowed in at the, starvation camp. And then they didn't really have any buffalo left. They had to eat the hides, actually. If there's one sin of the people who were going westward ho, it was that they decimated the buffalo population to virtual extinction. If it hadn't been for that, of course, I fully support moving to the West Coast, manifest destiny, all of these things. I have no problem with them. But they were killing animals just for sport at some point, in massive numbers. You gotta understand, wagon trains went through every single day. And some of them, they would have, 100, 150 wagons or something like that. So they kept hunting in the same areas over and over again near the trails, and they just obliterated the population of some of these animals. And it became a problem. The game actually figures this in too, wisely, saying, well, if we continue to hunt in this location, game will become scarce. And so there's a declining reward to actually hunting them. But Donner Pass is an interesting story. I suggest that everyone watch a good documentary about it. It's kind of spooky when you think about it. Imagine you're in an area that's virtually unexplored, forging your own path through supposedly a workaround to Oregon, but you never quite get there, most of them. Most of them died, actually. Some of them were eaten, actually, at the time. Robin Hood, I like that you enjoy this and are knowledgeable about it. Yeah, I've watched dozens of documentaries on the Oregon Trail and Donner Pass and things like that. I'm fascinated by it. It's there was one instance, they used to do what you would call double teaming. And so when they needed to get over a hill or something like that, what they would do is they would disengage oxen from one wagon and they would hook it to another wagon. That way you'd have more pushing, basically. You'd have more pulling. And then they'd get to the top, the oxen come down, then they would use the other team's oxen on the next wagon, the one that had donated oxen to them. And so they would do what's called double teaming. There was one instance, this is with the Donner Party, in which George Donner actually, there was a tangle up between his oxen and another person's oxen. And so the other person started getting irate, shouting at another person, a third party. And Donner was trying to break them up, actually, and say, look, cool down, and the cooler heads will prevail. So he attacked him with a bullwhip, but when he ducked, it actually hit his wife in the head. And so he stabbed the shit out of the dude, and then he died. And camp was set up, and they were talking about hanging him, actually. But in the end, they decided not to hang him, which is retarded anyway, that they would punish him for protecting his wife. But finally, they decided, well, we'll just banish him from the camp, and we'll give him a horse, and he can ride out. And his daughter had to bring him his rifle and ammunition and powder so that he could survive. Somehow, he survived the entire ordeal. Yeah, it's a fascinating story. A large proportion of all the people that went in the Donner Party, they died. And then they had to send rescuers up into the hills. But the problem is the Spanish war with Spain broke out. And so they didn't really have a lot of manpower left. They were fighting down in Texas. So, I mean, not Spain, Mexico. And so they couldn't actually get up there for several months. And so these people were left completely alone. They were eating their own roofs. They were debriding their own, like they had hides up on the top of the structures to keep the snow out, which was 3 or 4 feet deep, by the way, by that time. And they began boiling them and turned into basically glue, but they ate it anyway. Sticks, when you playing IRL Oregon Trail? I would love to set up a wagon with some oxen and supplies that would have been around back in the day, and then play real life Oregon Trail. I would absolutely love that. Sounds like the adventure of a lifetime, actually. Grandpa Grills Santa Maria Barbecue Grills. Is that your head, or did your neck puke? Both. Bobby Robinson Sticks, yo, stream made my phone get herpes. Yeah, fucking, I need to find a different iteration of the game that's more stable. Because I know that I could get it, the problem is I don't have a disk drive, so I can't really play it locally. So I'm going to have to do it online or from some third party. I'm going to try to see what I can do, because I really do want to play through. I want to do the ultimate, ultra hard mode and show you what a score I can rack up. Some of it's up to chance, of course. If you don't prepare properly, you're not going to get a high score because everyone in your party will die. Brian, Sticks gets robbed in a covered wagon in Nebraska by an illegal immigrant. That would be hilarious. Yeah, Bobby, I actually did that this last time. I was trying to do ultra hard mode. So you start out as a teacher, you get the lowest amount of money. You don't have any special skills, so repairing things is tenuous. You're not going to know what that disease is when it strikes someone. And then I had four kids, and then, a senior, actually. Moron. Yeah, I guess that would be Joe Biden. You're fundamentally correct. Yeah, I wish that I could play this on live stream, but the problem is it's not a stable version. Pondering my orb. Yo, Sticks, there is a version on Steam. Yeah, I would buy it on Steam, but I'm not sure if I can share it from that. Normally with StreamYard, it shares from tabs. So I may or may not be able to actually stream it. Rabbit, nice to see you this weekend. Yeah, I was trying to be a teacher on the Oregon Trail. Unfortunately, I guess I died of cholera. Yeah, we can play the game and LARP. It's fun. Tyler, job numbers surging, baby. Well, they will revise them downwards a bit, but overall, the Trump economy, good. It's working. Yeah, I don't know. Can I cast Steam? I think so. I'm not 100% sure, though. Bobby, Sticks, if Triple P had dysentery on the Oregon Trail, would you operate on his booty? No, I would just throw him off the wagon and allow him to die by the side of the road, actually. Ah, dinosaur cultist. Sticks, if you still need someone to make a rap beat, I will do it for free. I would love that. Just DM me on Twitter if you can. That would be hilarious. Oh, you've been watching since you were 15? Jeez, you must be a long-term clanker. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I wish that I could fucking play the game, and apparently if you even check your party's health or anything like that, it's just going to be in your way forever, and there's nothing that you can do about it. So I would say this iteration of the game, while fun if I'm playing it solo and I'm not live streaming it, that's perfectly fine. But if you're live streaming it, there's a little bit of a problem. The Wanderer, Styx's real thoughts revealed. My thoughts at the moment. Let me show you. No, I don't want an image file. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm totally normal, by the way. This is from Friends, and it was a little bit of an odd scene. You remember those old computers that they had with the slightly curved front? And those were considered really in vogue at the time. Yeah, pretty funny. Today's tasks: kill self. By the way, I have a mashup that's going to go on pretty soon with a very talented gentleman from Europe, actually. He wants to have a spiritual debate. His name is Pereira, and he lent me his Belgian hammer before. It worked very well. He's a fellow, well, I don't think he would describe himself as an occultist, but I think that I would. He, very talented individual. It'd be very, very interesting. And we're going to use AI to judge the debate that we have between one another. I don't think it'll be so much as a debate as a discussion, but then AI will be employed to judge who is better on several metrics. It's a very interesting idea. He, I believe, might be the first person to have thought of it, actually. I've never heard of such a thing before, but then when I heard the idea, I said, wow, this actually sounds like genius, to tell the truth. And if I win the debate, according to AI, I get the Imperial Roman hammer. Which is exactly what I need at the moment. Anyway, I wish that I could play through the entirety of Oregon Trail. I don't understand why it has stack. I don't even know what Stack Overflow means, actually, so I have no fucking idea. Let me look that up. Stack Overflow. Probably a Windows 3.1 thing. Let's see. No, that's not what Stack Overflow means. Piss on my dick. Oh, somebody nicked the search term in order to make a website. Well, never mind then. Nobody cares. Sleep is the cousin of death. You traitor to the pirates. How dare y'all, mighty, take off your hat, boy. There you go. I was trying to forge the Oregon Trail, but unfortunately, the fates that be decided I wasn't allowed to make the journey. I was doing well, too. I mean, I'm reasonably good at hunting in the game. Dropped a couple of deer and an elk and some birds and gophers or whatever the fuck they are. But yeah. I guess next time I go on the Oregon Trail, I better just dress as a pirate, because maybe it'll bring me good luck. Pirates are good at shooting things, you know. Bobby Bobbinson, Sticks, the quartering will follow you on the Oregon Trail and sabotage your wagon by night. He said he would earlier. That would be fun if they had multiplayer Oregon Trail. So multiple people could, like, you know, join together. And they're in the same wagon train and they're doing shit. And they can trade between one another. Or they can sabotage one another. That would actually be really fun. Huh. That would be a... Yeah, that would be a really fun idea, actually. You could make that work. And it wouldn't take much effort. I mean, Oregon Trail 2, what is it, like 20 megabytes or something like that? It's a really, really small game. It's audio clips and, you know, vignettes and then statistics, basically. Maybe the quartering is hacking your game to cause a stack overflow. That makes a lot of sense. No, it's just they didn't load it properly. So they're using the original OS, I guess, or something like that to play the game. What they need to do is get a different iteration and go through the code just casually. Because, again, it's only like 20, 30 megabytes or some shit like that. And then redesign it. I wish that I could do that. I probably could. There was this one time when I was young. I can't remember the name of the game, but it was an old arcade game. And I figured out exactly how it generated, like, the squares in the game. It was a 5x5 for each level. And I figured out how it generated the pixelated enemies, how it generated everything else. And so I took this game. Originally, it was like Knight Mage Paladin, and it was like a medieval game, right? I redesigned the entire thing from the ground up using their original source code. And first I made one that I was going to submit to biology class, actually. And it was like a bunch of cells floating around and stuff like that. And you were like a macrophage and you were supposed to kill them. Then I made another version. This is funny as hell. It was Ted Kaczynski related. And I did the full voiceovers for the whole fucking game, by the way. And Ted Kaczynski at the intro would say, "Computers are going to destroy us." And he was fighting refrigerators and microwaves and all sorts of other crazy shit. And there were giant monster robots that he had to kill every third level. And it was just fucking hilarious. And it's very, very funny. Because you know how the retro, like, neon 80s aesthetic has become popular? I actually included that in the intro. There was a picture of a city actually behind him in the intro, and it was basically like the pink and blue neon. It was basically the same thing, and this was back in high school, fucking long before that became a thing. Long before then, I was already doing the neon colors and stuff like that. And I told my biology teacher that I wanted to bring in a copy and show it off to people, the one with the cells, not the Kaczynski one, of course. And she wanted me to do that, but then the computer crashed and it took me a while to, you know, figure things out. But yeah, I had a Ted Kaczynski version, and and the refrigerators were coming at him, and their doors would open and close to try to eat him, and the toasters were firing toast at him, and he was just completely delusional. And you had like a machine gun, you had a rocket launcher, and stuff like that. And then in the first iteration of the game, the first one that I changed, it was really, really funny. This was great. I had this long-running joke with my mom because I rendered my dad. I was making cartoons when I was a teenager, and I would depict my dad as the delusional fake dictator of an African country who was actually a slow adult that would sit in the sandbox and consider himself lord of the sand dunes, basically. And my mom was represented by a hybrid raccoon squirrel, basically. And so the first boss in the first iteration of this that I made was basically a giant raccoon. It had been a dragon in the original game, and it would breathe fire. I changed it into a raccoon that was going crazy and throwing explosive acorns. And I thought this to be hilarious, and it was like the greatest. Yeah, all you had to do, I figured out, if you went into the game files and you could figure out what each particular character represented within a portion of the map, you could redraw the map. So I redrew the whole fucking game. Then I realized, hey, this pixel art here is getting loaded directly. Now I can change it to anything that I want. And so I had Ted Kaczynski. I had, what was it actually that was versus the raccoon? I think I kept that one the same. But, yeah, I added Ted Kaczynski in there and all sorts of other shit. And you could change the audio files. All you had to do was use the same name for the file. So you simply had to replace them. It was really fun, let me tell you. Bobby Bobbinson. Parental trauma alert. No, it has nothing to do with that. I just thought it funny. Quaidjar. Doomwads have been more unhinged. Yeah. You look at the log poster, Animator Man. Now look him up. He made a Doomwad. And it's fucking nuts. It's probably the most nuts I've seen. Love to see him tackle Hexen. Hey, maybe I can do that. If I can do that with an old-style arcade game, I could probably do that with Hexen. It is pixel-based. It's basically the same. It's like 23 megabytes or some shit like that. That sounds like fun. Maybe I'm going to make my own Hexen mod. Hexen's a great game, by the way. If you've never played Hexen, I suggest that you do so. The Wanderer. Sticks, you should make a video on mommy and daddy issues. I don't have any, but some people do. Bone Score. Sticks, did you ever play Redneck Rampage? No, I've never heard of it. Actually? Anyways, I'm gonna move this. Today's tasks. Kill self. Yeah, Hexen Heretic. I have not played that one. Or Hexite, by the way. But I played the old school, like, N64 Hexen. I liked it. I always played as the Paladin, and here's why. Early in the game, if you want the distance support without mana, you choose the Mage. If you want to punch your enemies out and be able to go forward and back and avoid their particular attacks, you choose the Warrior. With the Paladin, with the Paladin, you don't get these advantages. Your up-close attack does a lot less damage than the warrior, and you don't have a distance attack. Well, that fucking sucks. But later in the game, you get Wraith Verge. Wraith Verge is a staff that fires out a bolt that generates an army of ghosts, and they will rip the souls out of your enemies. Now, if an enemy has a shield, it'll reflect back upon you. That's a problem. But we'll get to how to get around that problem in a moment. If you're fighting Korax, the final boss, Wraith Verge is so much better than Bloodscourge or Quietus. It is easily the most powerful weapon, and that's wielded, again, by this particular character. There are 3 to choose from. You start off weak as fuck. You have to beat the shit out of your enemies over and over in order to actually kill them. Even Ettins, which are the lowest level enemy in the game, it takes like 7 hits to kill them. And so you have to sort of dart in, hit him in the head, and then dart back out. Whereas the mage can bullseye them from a distance, and the warrior can just 3-punch them, and the 3rd punch will put them out. With the paladin, or cleric rather, you have to wait until later in the game until you have proper capabilities of killing your enemies. But once you get them, it is so much better than any other class in the game. If you can survive that long, yeah, it's going to be a slaughter fest. You get this magical hammer that you can use to pound your enemies and throw at them. You'll end up being able to sap their life. There's a really special thing that you can do, by the way, and only the cleric can do this. The mage can't do it, the warrior can't do it. When you drop the green potions, they have different effects depending on the different class. With the mage, I believe it's an electroshock. The warrior, it's a firebomb. With the cleric, it's a poison gas cloud. So you can throw 3 or 4 of these on the ground and then use a talisman of repulsion to force the clouds against your enemies. And it'll just cause catastrophic damage. It's like a nuclear weapon basically going off if you do it right. And so yeah, here I am nerding out about Hexen. It's a great game. Are the graphics good? Yeah. For the time, okay. It is based on the Doom generator, though, so, it's still a little bit two-dimensional. Is the plotline good? Yeah. Can't wait to play it again, actually. Junior Coltrane. My wife isn't illegal, but she is annoying. I'm hoping ICE will deport her for that at least. God. Bobby, Sticks play Fortnite right now. Play Fortnite as a black woman. I'm more likely to play Hexen, honestly. I know you can emulate that, although it's in very lo-fi definition. I'm going to see what I can do with regards to both Hexen and Oregon Trail, actually. I'm going to do everything that I can for that. This is just a fun stream. This wasn't for work. This was just more, hey, I want to play a video game, and I want other people to see it. Fortunately, it crashes if you attempt to change the volume or attempt to trade with anyone, apparently. That's a big problem. Bobby Bobinson, Oregon fail. I agree with you on that one. The Wanderer, Sticks, do you like Burzum? Yes, I do. I'm not a fan of all of their songs, but they get a couple of bangers, yeah. Varg is a pretty cool guy. Again, he's got some weird views, but he's also got a nice, wholesome family and a cool wife. And so, give him credit where credit's due. People can be multifaceted, Some things they do really well. Some things they fucking fail on. Happens all the time. Philip Cockram. I'm playing RoboCop. It's not bad. I've never played that one. Mark, incels can't do westward expansion. I was expanding west. I had successful hunting parties, and we had everything else that we needed. It's just that the game decided to fuck off under the wheels of a bus. Someday soon, I will get an iteration of that game that is stable, that I can actually, go to the menu on and stuff, and I will play it on live stream. And I'm going to try to take a teacher with 5 minor dependents, those are the school kids, I guess, all the way to Oregon from St. Joseph. And we'll see what happens. You can just barely make it with the budget that you have, assuming that you're any good at hunting. That way, as long as you have salt to start off with, you're making salted meat, and so that'll sustain you. Everything else you can probably afford. It kind of depends, though, on the save that you're using, because sometimes you won't find anyone in town that has what you need. Like the wagon shop the second time around, of course, had oxen. First time around, they didn't have any animals at all. And you definitely don't want to use horses or mules. Horses cost too much. Mules are more stubborn. Oxen is the way to go. You can always slaughter one along the trail if you need to, and eat their meat. That's the way to do it. I'm a master at Oregon Trail 2. I challenge the whole world at this game. I'm also good at hexing, although sometimes when you try to do the cleric trick with the poison gas, sometimes it doesn't work. It can be a little cantankerous. If you get it right, you can wipe out an entire legion. If you get it wrong, then you've wasted your poison bombs. I like that aspect of the game too, how they swapped it out so that the effect of the green potions would be different. Because again, with the mage, it's more like an electrical hand grenade, if I remember correctly. With the warrior, it's a firebomb. But the cleric has the best one. The poison gas, if you aim it properly with a metal of repulsion, it will decimate everything in front of you. You drop like 4 or 5 of those, and then you repulse them, and every enemy in range is just completely torn apart effectively. Bobby, how did the Wanderer suddenly get number 1? I have no clue what's fucking going on at this point. 9. Reminds me of the Kanye song Heil Hitler. Fallout, Oregon Trail. Oh god, if you did a mashup between those two. Imagine you have to travel the Oregon Trail through a nuclear wasteland. And so you have to plan for zombies and crazy shit like that. Hey, that's actually not a bad idea for a game. I'd play it. Can Scourge. Man, these people took my kids from me, then they closed my bank account. I got so much anger in me, got no way to lay it out. Think I'm stuck in the Matrix, where the fuck's my nitrous? I love that song. I listen to it every day, actually. Yeah, sometimes I pump it up in the car and I heil out the window, actually. I find that hilarious. I find it amusing. Action Bravo. Yeah, Styx needs to cover it for us. I actually plan on doing so. The Wanderer. Tarl, say my name. The Wanderer. Heil Hitler. That'll be fun. Be hilarious to cover it. Because, you know, they can't really censor it. It's already a registered song. It's still on YouTube. All I have to do is put up a gay-ass disclaimer saying, I'm not a Nazi, I'm presenting this for historical purposes. You've seen that probably on every iteration of that particular song already. Anyways, I'm gonna let you go, since apparently I can't play fucking Oregon Trail on this particular iteration. If somebody DMs me with a link that's more stable, like where I can consult the audio, control that and stuff without it crashing, that would be highly appreciated. You don't have to, but if you could, if you happen to know of one, it would be appreciated. And then I'll have to get to it maybe tomorrow or something like that. Anyways, yeah, I'll probably play Oregon Trail again. I don't think I'll bother recording it this time, though, because I can't fucking do anything in the game. I can't even trade with people. Well, if I can't trade with people without a stack overflow, how am I supposed to get my fucking cornmeal and flour and stuff like that? So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. That's about all. Peace out.